Hey everyone, this is Primetime Vinyl and I'm Nick. Today I wanted to show you the 10 most limited pressings in my collection. For those limited pressings, it could be any variant of the particular album. It's based on how many of that variant were pressed. Number 10 on my list is Judas Priest with Firepower. This one is autographed. It is on yellow and black and red and black vinyl. The cool thing about this particular pressing is that not only did they send out the autographed jacket, but they also sent out a non-autographed jacket so that you could store them separately if you want and keep the autographed one for display purposes or whatever. Anyway, they made 500 of these only, and this is Judas Priest's Firepower. Coming in at number 9, I've got Creator with Hey Uber Alice, their album that came out in 2022. Yep, 2022. This particular press is the red and clear, or red and white, I think it is. They only made 400 of this particular variant. Coming in at number 8, another classic thrash band. This is Exodus with Persona Non Grata. This is a 2021 album. This pressing is Bone and Beer Swirl with red and brown splatter vinyl. As you can see, this was limited to 300. It's got great artwork. I don't know if you can see this there, but it's got the little shininess on there. Coming in at number 7 is a band called the Acacia Strain with their album Continent. This pressing was limited to 250, if you could see there. And the variant is opaque orange inside transparent blue wax. That is what it looks like. There's not a whole lot of orange going on there. Anyway, the Acacia Strain with the album Continent, limited to 250. Coming up next is one of my favorite death metal bands. Also a band that lost their singer very recently. I think it was just last year. And that is the Black Dahlia Murder. This is their album Deflorate or Deflorate. It's limited to 100 copies. I have copy 97 apparently. And there's the variant there. It's on sulfur yellow marble colored vinyl, limited to 100. Coming up next, I've got Carcass with Surgical Steel. This is on green, toxic green vinyl is what they call it. This was limited to 100 copies as well. It's one of my favorite albums. I actually prefer Swan Song a little bit more than this one. Also, I prefer Swan Song to Heartwork, which is maybe an unpopular opinion, but for me, Swan Song is their sweet spot. Anyway, Carcass, Surgical Steel, limited to 100. Coming up next is another Carcass record. This is their newest record, Torn Arteries. This pressing was supposed to be limited to 100. It's the Kaka variant. But right before they shipped it out, I got an email from the record label that actually stated a bunch of these were damaged in the production process or maybe even shipping it to their warehouse. So there's actually less than 100 of these out there. I'm not sure exactly how many less than 100, but I know it's less than 100. This is Carcass Torn Arteries on their Kaka splatter vinyl. Coming in at number 3 is a band called Forgive Durden with their album Razia's Shadow. This is a pressing that I just got from the Near Mint label. It has the Obi, and this was limited to 50 albums. It's actually a really good album. This was the only time it was pressed on vinyl as far as I'm aware, so it might be really hard to find if you end up liking it, but I do suggest streaming it if you like really epic sounding progressive rock. There's a lot of stringed instruments and horns and choir stuff going on this record. It really kind of sounds like a movie soundtrack, even with narration that goes between the songs and at the beginnings of songs and stuff like that. So check out Razia's Shadow from Forgive Durden. This was limited to 50 pressed. Coming in at number 2 is a hardcore band from Orange County. This is 18 Visions with their EP Inferno. This came on black and gray splatter. It's a 10-inch. It has the insert here, and the interesting thing here is that it was limited to 50 hand-numbered copies there. Really great EP if you like hardcore music. Metalcore, hardcore, more hardcore though. And last but not least is a band called Stick to Your Guns, or STYG as it's marked there. This is their newest album called Spectre, and this is a test pressing that was limited to 30. So only 30 of these were up for grabs, and it just comes with that little paper insert there. It does have poly-lined sleeve, and it's just on black wax. And as you can see there, it says test pressing. It is one of 2 test pressings I have in my collection. I really do like test pressings just because they're harder to find. But I've only been able to find 2 good test pressings so far. So that's the last one, Stick to Your Guns, their album Spectre, test pressing limited to 30. Alright guys, I hope you liked that video. Those are my most limited pressings in my collection. If you have any of those, or if you wish you had any of those, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel so that you know when I'm putting out some more videos. Thanks guys.